What's going on, y'all? It's JSmo Reviews here, back at it again with another video, man. Finally bringing you guys the full King of the Dot Massacre 6 predictions. Yes, the full card is out, which is what I always wait for before doing my predictions. I talked about the two main events with Big K and Tay-Rock and Chilla and Rex, you know what I'm saying, pretty in detail when they first came out. And I've kind of mentioned some of the bigger matchups that have gotten announced through other videos, but now with it all out, we can like really dive in and just focus on this card. There is an astronomical amount of battles. It is a 2-day card, so some of these I'm going to go through quicker. Honestly, some of these I do have pretty lopsided as well, truth be told. But, you know, got to show respect to every battle on the card, and it is definitely, I will say now, on paper, it's got to actually perform to this, but on paper, it is the best card, the most stacked card that's been dropped this year, and we'll just start from the bottom of it. These first three matchups all have battle talent in them. It's Clone versus Death the Kid, E. Farrell versus Pepe, and Emerson Kennedy versus City Towers. So it's City Towers, E. Farrell, and Death the Kid all repping for battle. And I have a mixture of results, but they're all the same way. Pretty clear, 2-1 clear, if not 3-0. And that's Clone beating Death the Kid. He's been in much better form. I feel like Death really hasn't been the same since he lost the headband match to Appa, which the headband battle is like the equivalent to a King of the Dot chain. You know what I'm saying? He got smoked, bodied. And I just don't think he's ever been at that same level that he was before that battle. How I viewed him. Lost to Ride. I lost to Nakeem since then. So I got Clone winning clear. I got E. Farrell beating Pepe clear. E. Farrell's actually one of the better vets over there at iBattle. And Pepe is always commonly on these King of the Dot cards, but really fails to stand out on them. So I got E. Farrell clear in there. And then I have Emerson Kennedy clearly beating City Towers. Emerson Kennedy's last battle is versus Ill Will. I didn't have him winning. A lot of you guys did, though, so obviously credits to that. And then City Towers' last battle, his first bar versus Real Sick, he let us know he had no rounds. So I'm going to go Emerson Kennedy. I feel like he's a bit of a safer bet in this situation. But 3 clear wins to start. Then you have Yoshi G versus Chirac, which is the only lady versus lady battle on the card. 40 bars on this card, which we'll talk about in a second. But it's a home game for Chirac. So that does go in her advantage. And there is something similar about what her and Yoshi have been doing recently, but it's different. And that's losing. They both have been losing, in my opinion. I did have Yoshi losing to Asi Amore. I did have her losing to Vixen. But Yoshi's really respectable, good in both of those battles flat out. Chirac, ever since she placed number 6 on Wody, battled Zan, battled Miss Will on QB's card, which I don't even know about that battle because she got 30'd in it. Same way she got 30 versus Zan. Chirac has not looked the same at all since placing top 6 in Wody. She's been really, really bad this year. Hopefully her being in Boston kind of brings some motivation or just back to that form out. But until then, Yoshi more consistent, probably a higher ceiling, even though she never placed that high on Wody actually. So I guess I can't say that. But looking at current form, I got to go with Yoshi in this one, 2-1. Then you have Danny Myers versus Elijah Straight, which out of kind of this second half of the card that's clearly lower, not top tiers on both sides in some of these situations, right, if any at all, I actually think this is sneaky one of the better battles. I like Danny versus Elijah, puncher versus puncher again, like Clone and Death was, and we know what Danny does, his history on King of the Dot. And I got Danny winning this battle going in, I'm going to say that. But I haven't loved Danny's form this year, although at any moment he could pop out with a great performance. I mean, I don't have to explain how the whole Danny Myers experience works, man. There's a lot more good footage than bad, but there's just a ton of footage in general. Now with Elijah Straight, and I know what the common complaints are going to be. First of all, I want to highlight his Foots battle this year was incredible. And it's an example of, even though down to the mannerisms, the setups and all that, I get it. He sounds like Nitty. The quality is crazy too, though, man. Like, and I don't know what that'll mean in the ceiling, the overall conversation of his career. This topic comes up every time, but he's earned a good plate, especially after that Foots battle. And I feel like his biggest issue was he was never not fire either, but he stumbled and choked a lot. That's a big reason that he kind of, after UM4, when people felt like he beat next, he just disappeared immediately. He started choking in all of his battles afterwards. So I have him being really good on this card. I think he'll be received well by the crowd. I think they're going to go back and forth. I think this could sneakily be one of the better battles of the night. I do have Danny 2-1 out of respect, obviously, although I have not been a fan of his work like that this year, but Elijah's going to have to show me before I just predict a victory over a top tier like that. Then you got Excel versus Chef Trez, home game for Excel. A lot of people say his pen is underrated, but I don't feel like as an all-around talent, he's messing with Chef Trez, and on top of that, Trez will bring the quality that he'll bring to top tiers down to like lower tiers. So I think Excel will probably do respectable, but I got Trez 2-1. And everything else from here on out is top tier action. You got Real Deal versus Mike P. Listen, I like that. It's a good, solid battle. You know what I'm saying? And it's good to see Mike back outside again. I feel like I haven't seen him in quite a minute. Right? And then especially in a card probably of this nature versus Real Deal, who was just pretty good versus Kid Chaos. I thought I did have Kid Chaos winning clear, but I thought it was one of Real Deal's better showings in a minute. I haven't really liked the output from Real Deal like that. But the one battle, although I didn't like the Rock battle, I didn't like the Nun battle, I didn't like the Dice battle. The one battle I thought he did really good in was versus Loso. On King of the Dot. We are going back to the Stay Forever card at that point, but I did like that performance. So I am expecting him, Real Deal, on King of the Dot to give a good performance. I'm still going to go Mike P 2-1. Because I've been impressed with Mike P on King of the Dot in general, but even though he hasn't battled as much outside of a loss to Just Cuz, I mean, he was a top 20 battler last year for a reason. You know what I'm saying? He put some pretty decent work in. So I do have Mike winning this battle. Perfectly possible that Real Deal wins it. Then we got Thesaurus versus A-Ward. King of the Dot legend with Thesaurus versus A-Ward, who's won King of the Dot battle of the year before. I think it was like 2020 or 2018. They gave him, like, King of the Dot gave him the award for being the best battler on the platform. And I do have him winning this one 2-1. I mean, listen, Thesaurus on King of the Dot, as I'm going to say with any of these, like, nothing is impossible. I beat Hala Dadan last year, you know what I'm saying, which is a legacy win. But Ward battling top tier level more consistently at higher levels. If you look at the recent form, I think it's pretty easy to go and predict A-Ward for that one. And then you have one of the most interesting announcements, in my opinion. This whole top 8, by the way, from Thesaurus, A-Ward, and these next 7 is all top tier versus top tier action. You got Sharon versus 40 bars. Sharon's had a pretty good year. Under the radar, he smoked Danny to start the year, probably the most notable footage, but he's been winning really across the board. But now he's got 40, which is another, like, premier plate, especially the card streamed, but you're taking on 40 bars in Boston, so it's a home game for 40. And I don't like the matchup of Sharon versus a woman. I didn't like Sharon versus Bonnie. He's got one other matchup there I can't remember right now. I was just thinking of it because I wanted to bring up this point in the video, but I have not enjoyed his footage versus Lady Battler so far. I just don't know if his style is the best for that. And I think that 40 is just going to bar away. She's got a busy schedule because she just beat First Lady Flames. She got this. She got New Jersey Twerk coming up. I'm hearing she's got some other stuff coming up, you know what I'm saying? I'm hearing 40's that got a crazy second half of the year, and even on paper already, you can see that it's getting crazy. And I know the other day, it was on Twitter, Frank White, shout out Frank, that tagged her, whatever, about my prediction on her and Twerk, and she said I'd never predict her having her winning. That's just not true, you know what I'm saying? The videos are there to prove otherwise, but even if it was, today is not that case. I got 40 bars winning 2-1 against Sharon. For that exact reason that I think she's clipped up. I think she is barred up, and you always have to question maybe her cleanliness, right? That's always going to be a convo with her, but she's been, that First Lady Flames battle I thought was a good statement, 100% clean. She wasn't great, but she was good enough to win every round. And then you got the home game factor to this one, plus I think the advantage matchup. So I think it's an interesting one, but I am rolling with 40 going into the battle. Chilla Jones versus T-Rex next, which I've already kind of talked about, so I'll just quickly reiterate, I do have Chilla 2-1, maybe Gentleman's 30. Maybe Gentleman's 30 now, because I see Chilla saying he feels motivated to write, and he feels like fully into this battle, which, I get worried about when people are throwing the event and also battling on it. It's hard to focus. But listen, Chilla was proved to be, up until like 2021, right? Post Cody, he had that rough year, but he proved to be one of the most consistent battlers ever. You know what I'm saying? In terms of bringing 3 rounds, especially of quality material. And Rex was better in his 2 battles last year, so I'm going to give him, that's why I'm going to kind of lean more towards 2-1. I'm going to give Rex some respect. But in terms of, Rex lost a lot of battles and did a lot of bullshit before 2 good battles last year. So I'm a little more confident in him getting around, but to give him the win, then Chilla's at home. Same reason, I'm saying 40 bars being at home. All kind of arrows are pointing towards Chilla for me in that one. Real Sick versus Charlie Clips. Now, we've actually kind of gotten this before with the 2-on-2 when Real Sick and Lou battled DNA and Clips, and Sick kind of ISO'd for like 80% of that battle and won single-handedly. I would hope that Charlie takes this one as serious as he took the Easy the Block Captain battle. And I think he will be good. I don't know. I don't think you'll get a fully mailed-in Clips. I also don't think you're going to get a fully focused 3 rounds of Clips. If I had to guess, I'm going to go 1 good round and 1 serviceable round. And then 1 just Frisbee round. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I'm going to call Clips' performance. And I've said it since the beginning, predicting Real Sick and A-Ward for his debut. People are not beating Real Sick on King of the Dot. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Omac is a battle I want to see they've talked about, but the list of people that's beating Real Sick on King of the Dot is maybe 2 or 3, and they're maybes. So I have Real Sick winning this one 2-1, if not 3-0. Hey, but Clips has shocked me before, and it's in classic Clips fashion to kind of just bullshit for like 2 years straight and then just beat Easy and Sick. There's Charlie for you. Geechee versus Marv won after that. Out of all the top matchups, I'm not going to lie, I'm not as excited for this one as the others, but it's still a good battle. I worry about Geechee sometimes too, kind of doing the thing that I talked about with Clips. One good round, one serviceable, one Frisbee. You know what I'm saying? However, I think Geechee is going to win this battle. I think he does respect Marv enough that he is going to show up at least with 2 good rounds. And while I think Marv is good, I don't know. When Geechee gets into a certain bag, I feel like more of an as an all-around talent, he can kind of get the one up here. Like if I just had to compare peaks, I think Geechee is a better battler than Marv won. So I am predicting that. But, Marv is consistent in his own right, even though he has been more prone to stumbling in battles a little more lately, as quiet as it's kept. So with 2 guys that have been a little bit more, like at 50-50, it's less to predict more on concrete, so I'm going to go right off of the talent. And like I said, I just feel like Geechee can reach a higher high than Marv can. Man, running out of breath talking about all this. Long-ass card. However, we got 3 battles left, but they're the most important ones. You know what I'm saying? These 3 are really the attention grabbers of the card. Although these other battles are top tier, I think these are the real ones that are making people spend money. And that is, first one to talk about is Pass versus Twerk. Great battle. And the only thing that this should be a battle of the night contender. You know what I'm saying? It should be fantastic. Just know how consistent and great passes, the style he brings, pure rapping ability to a T, tailored material in there too. I mean, the pen in terms of, people, Pass is a good pen, he says fire shit, but in terms of like the syllable and rhyming structure, that's where he's kind of like in a whole like place of his own. He is all-time special just in terms of like writing rhymes. And then we know what Twerk is in terms of just performer, puncher. I feel like at peak, New Jersey Twerk is the better battler of the 2, while they are both great. So I am going Twerk 2-1 because I think he's going to show up for this one. He's been rough this year with the choking and the stumbling again. T-Top, Wise, Clone. It's been happening. But he's got the 40 battle coming up. Big card, big stage. I feel like he's going to show up for that one. And if he's going to show up for that, I also feel like he's going to show up for his King of the Dot debut on pretty much the most stacked card we've gotten this year. So he has motivators to be great. And if he stumbles, he chokes, I can't base it off that unless I really think he is. And I don't think he is for this battle. I expect a prepared Twerk. I expect a really good battle. But I got Twerk taking it 2-1. And then from there, we'll talk about Kenny Rock a little bit because I've already done a video on it. But we got Frack versus John. It's very interesting, very interesting. 6 years ago, people don't know this battle was built up 6 years ago when these two argued if the Holocaust was real. My guy John was saying that might be false. Crazy take, you know what I'm saying? And Frack was debating with him. There's a whole big thing on it happened on Twitter at the time. I feel like a lot of newer fans or some people might have even forgotten about it, but that is kind of the basis of where it started at, them talking back and forth. And Frack did not really have a profile back then, and now obviously he has much more of a profile. I mean, we've seen him battle A-Ward, battle Diz, battle Danny. I'd like him to be more battle tested, but how else than battling other great battlers like John Don, right? And then versus a John who's been so active and so good recently. There's really no other way to put it, bro. From easy to Cal to serious, that is a crazy 3 battles. And even though I had him losing the battles last year, he was good versus Trez, he was good versus 40, like either 2-on-2. I mean, John's been since around, I'd say mid-2023 to now. I mean, we're seeing really like an elite run from John. And when you look at that, that's so hard to bet against. That's so hard. And my problem is that I didn't predict against him versus Sirius, obviously, but I'd be predicting versus John in a lot of matchups more recently, right? Like I had predicted against him versus Calico, versus Easy, and he's proved me wrong every step of the way, right? But there's two big factors on why I'm going to predict Frack. I don't know if he'll see it, you know what I'm saying? If he does, I'm sorry, because I know he thinks I predict against him every time, or it's a lack of respect. But there's just two style factors I have to bring up with this Frack battle. And then first of all, it's that angle is crazy. The Holocaust whole combo. You can't do that across 3 rounds, but I think whatever round that's done, I have confidence in Frack to do that round properly. And I think especially on King of the Dot, that's just going to hit. So that's just a big advantage going in. Honestly, there's a lot of other factors, like punch-wise, I think John's been doing better, right? And I feel like he is going to have some creative ways to get at Frack. But I think Frack has some good... He's an angler of his own, right? So I obviously think he's a powerful angle going in, so that's a big advantage. And B, I am not like John on King of the Dot like that throughout his career. Now, I think there's a good chance this will be his best King of the Dot. I actually predict this will be his best King of the Dot performance. But so far, he's got the Sharon battle. He lost that one. The other ones are obviously a lot longer ago, but him versus Thesaurus, which he's actually good in that battle. I think Thesaurus just gave a really good performance and won. He lost versus Caustic a million years ago. And then versus Kid Twist, you ask King of the Dot fan, they got Kid Twist. I never have Kid Twist winning battles, you know what I'm saying? So I have John winning that battle. But it's been a minute. You would hope that he would be able to shake some of that. And then you got the Massacre crowd. So it's a lot closer than at one point I thought I was going to predict it. And I really think that same way with Pass and Twerk, I think even more so for Frack and John, this could be higher up for Battle of the Night. If you had to ask me, I think it'll be either Frack or John and Big K or Tay-Rock. And I'm not 100% confident on which one I'd pick for Battle of the Night. But I'm going to go Frack 2-1. I think this is the most favorable situation for Frack to win. And listen, if John goes from 30 and just destroying Cal, him and Sirius on 3 days prep being debatably Battle of the Night in the trenches, if he beats Frack in this situation, this is not only one of I feel like the better runs of his career. Overall in his 2024, I'm looking at him instantly as like a top 5 type of guy, and with a coffee battle on the way, and who knows what after that. So we'll see what's going on here, because I do think that the deck is stacked so much kind of in Frack's side that, if he is the guy I think he's been in battle rap, he kind of has to go and win this one. And then that leaves you with, after all the dramatics, different matchups here. I know I've talked fucking a ton, but that leaves you with Big K versus Tay-Rock, which is obviously a huge battle. I've talked about it before, like I said. And the big thing for me in this is I think that while Tay-Rock is going to punch heavy, and he can punch through angling, it's totally possible for Rock to win. How surgical Big K's been with the angles, plus the all-around game, because he's going to punch within the angles. So he's going to have some of them PK makers to match Rock, right? Rock's going to do maybe more on the multisyllabic side, but when Big K gets in that bag like he did versus A-Ward, he can kind of get close, if not match that rapping ability. And then he's going to have the angles, which he does more than Tay-Rock. And then he's going to have the comedy in there, which goes great over on King of the Dot, which he's probably going to include in the angles versus Tay-Rock. I just think that similar to the Frack and John battle, we're talking about Tay-Rock and John. We're talking about like 2 top 20, 25 battle rappers ever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to explain the respect, because it speaks for itself. But I think for K and Frack, similarly, this is the perfect situation for them to win the battle, like advantage-wise. So I do have Big K winning versus Tay-Rock 2-1, and similar to Frack and John. It's either one of these two battles is going to be the best battle of the night. I would be shocked. I said Pass and Twerk. This has got an outside chance too, but I would be pretty shocked if neither Big K or Tay-Rock or Frack and John was the battle of the night. And that is my full thoughts here on the King of the Dot Massacre 6 card. We got about a little under 2 weeks to go. I just talked about so many battles, probably talk really fast through some of them. So for any of these battles on the card or any of the predictions I gave, please let me know in the comment section down below. What's your battle of the night? What do you disagree with? What do you like? What do you don't like? Who's getting bodied? Please let me know any of your takes. And I'll ask too if you think that this is the best card of the year on paper, but to be honest with you, I think that's pretty obvious right now. But in order to be event of the year, let's see if they stick the landing. I'm pretty confident it's going to be one of the 5 best events we've gotten in 2024, but it has the potential to be the best if everyone shows up proper, you know what I'm saying, and locked in. But it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all. As I said, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Peace.